How are you doing today, Farm Girl?
Just fabulous.
I can't.
How about you?
I can't hear you.
Hello. Ours goes to 11.
I want to ask you some questions.
Yeah?
Yeah. It occurs to me that there are some good questions for you that arise from time to time. Stop hugging me. Tell me, Farm Girl, why do we call you Farm Girl? You're not a girl.
Hey, I am a girl.
You're a girl figuratively,
I
I
like
guess.
being called a girl.
But you're half a century old.
I'm a mature girl.
A lot of people say you can't call her a girl. She's an old woman. I don't think of you as an old woman. But,
Yeah.
oh well, you'll be Farm Girl.
You can call me a woman.
Farm Girl is stuck in my head.
Farm girl just rolls off the tongue.
It rolls off the tongue.
Yes.
So,
And I live on a farm.
yeah,
And I'm a girl.
and you're a girl.
So,
Farm lady. It doesn't
there are
have the
many
same
farm
ring.
girls out there.
So, what brings you this way in life? What's your background, Farm Girl? That's a good question.
Yeah, that is good.
Where do you hail from?
Well,
Come on,
I moved
pick up the
14
pace.
times before I was 8. And the last move was upstate New York, Ithaca. And we lived
14
there.
times. That's like how I moved when I was a kid. That's
Yeah.
a lot.
Well, so I lived there from 8 to 18.
Ithaca.
And then I went to New Orleans.
Is that in Greece?
No,
Okay.
that's in New York, upstate. And then I met you,
Well, tell me.
my Exoman.
Oh, we were young.
Moved to California.
We were very young.
Yeah.
That was in the early 80s, or the mid 80s.
I was 19. That was a
Okay.
long time ago.
But back up. Tell me, you started working when you were a kid, didn't you?
Yeah,
You weren't rich
no.
Huh.
I worked at Arby's.
At Arby's. What did you do at Arby's?
I made sandwiches.
And you were a
Did a
clerk.
bunch of stuff.
A clerk at CVS, huh?
Yep. I
But
did
you-
everything.
But you got
Inventory,
You got
all
to
that
go to a really good school because your dad worked really hard, right?
Yeah. Well, and even before that, before I was of age to work, I was cleaning apartment buildings and stuff
Uh-huh.
for my dad's company.
All right. So you worked
My
hard.
mom and dad.
So did you stop working because maybe you got rich or something?
Nope.
You didn't get rich working at Rascal's selling
Hasn't happened. Oh
so
yeah.
pimping beers and
I
deli
was a
sandwiches.
waitress. Yep.
Yep.
And ooh, I got my biggest tip from Exoman right after I met him.
Yeah, that's right. I pulled up on my motorcycle, had my leather jacket on. And I was gonna get this girl to date me. And I was not a big shot kind of guy, but
No, but
really-
you were that day.
yeah.
He bought a
Alright.
beer and left me $10.
All right, so we get the idea. You worked when you were a kid, and you worked through college, and
Yeah.
then you moved out west with your young man. When did you start working out? Because I don't know if people realize it, but you work out almost every day.
Well, I worked out when I was a teenager. I went to aerobics all the time.
I remember.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, even before that, like when I was in high school, and played hockey,
so you're not
and I skied.
you're not just physically fit, but just because of good genes alone, right?
No, my family was always active, and my parents ran and played tennis and racquetball. Yeah,
What kind
we
of
were always active.
you've worked hard, you worked out. What kind of moral ethics do you have? Are you a racist, or
No.
do you
I'm very empathetic.
do you
I can empathize with everyone.
are you manipulative? Are you cunning?
I wish.
Are you unethical? Are you immoral? How would you know the answers to these questions?
Because I don't know.
Because you
Everything's relative, I guess.
because you seem, in my experience, to conduct yourself with a certain
Yeah.
moral code.
Well, growing up, my dad always had me listening to people like Ty Boyd and Nightingale. And,
Earl Nightingale Conant, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And all those positive.
And Think and Grow Rich
Yeah.
by Napoleon Hill and
Yep.
things like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've always been grounded in things that
I
were
was fed.
positive. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were fed positive. Do you know that some people, even some of our viewers, they don't understand that. Like they don't they don't find any sincerity in that. And oh, you say you're positive. We live in a world of sham and drudgery. How can you? That's
it's really
BS.
sad. People are born into that, and it's really hard to get out of. Like you, where
Speak up. I can't hear you.
You had lots of negativity when you were young, but you did have love. So.
Yeah, love is very grounding, and some people don't have that that blanket, that security blanket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you just got to try and break out of that, I guess. I mean, I was lucky, and I had a really good upbringing.
You had great positive influence in your life, but what's important is that you understand that a lot of people have never had that, and as I say in a lot of my videos, you then have to foster it somehow.
Yeah.
You have to find people who are positive and who can generate that, help you generate that. They don't do it for you, you do it yourself, but by surrounding yourself with good people, or even listening to good people, like you said.
Yeah.
Reading books or listening to tapes, there are no excuses not to at least strive and try to be a more positive person.
Yeah.
All right, so you had a good work ethic. You had a pretty good fitness regimen all your life.
Yeah.
What are you doing right now?
Well, I'm lucky in that I like to work out. I mean, I really like it. I look forward to it. So that's really lucky, because I know a lot of people just are like, ugh, do I have to go to the gym?
But the way to look forward to working out is to get into the habit of it, and it's really hard.
Yeah.
In the beginning.
Once I have gotten out of the habit, like every once in a while, just for whatever reason, and it is hard to get back into it, but once you just push yourself and get there, then you start.
No, Bear.
It's easy to get back into it.
Well, okay, then let's talk about eating. You're not part of this conversation, Mister.
Yeah, I am, Dad.
What that brings us to the discussion of consumption.
Yeah.
And that is a real problem for some people, because just like the positive thought thing, they have never been introduced to it. They, as we've said before, they hear it all their lives, but they just can't implement
Everyone
it.
kind of knows what you're not supposed to eat and what you should eat.
But they lie to themselves. And they say, oh, this soda is okay.
Yeah, well, you think that the little things don't add up, but the little things really do add up. Not saying that you can't cheat every once in a while, but if you're good 90% of the time, 95% of the time, then you can be bad.
Well, that's difficult for most people to attain. We're talking about starting out. You know, if you could get to eating 50% good food in the beginning, that's something, you know. But the biggest things is sugar. Sugar's killing Americans. Yeah. The empty calories.
Sugar and sedentary lifestyle, like just sitting at your desk all day.
Yeah.
Lately, I've been watching my VivoFit, and when it says you've been sitting for an hour, I get up. I try and do 5 to 10 minutes. We've got a little glider in the office, so I try and do that every hour. So by the end of the day, I've got 80 minutes already of exercise, and then I go to the gym.
Because you're working and you can't get out here and walk.
Yeah.
And what are we doing now?
We're walking.
10,000. We're trying to get at least 10,000 steps.
Yeah.
Which is a great goal.
Yeah. 10,000 a day.
Sometimes our goal pushes higher because we walk too much. But this brings us to the subject of impact. So who has talked to you and admonished you about high impact exercise for 25 years, roughly?
Exoman.
Yeah, maybe 30 years.
Yeah.
Because what did you always do when we were young?
Well, I ran a lot.
I ran with you sometimes.
Yeah.
But I
liked running.
I felt really. It didn't make me feel good to admonish you for that, because here I am not running a lot, and I'm admonishing you for doing something you consider good for you. But I consider the impact on your hips and knees. 25 years ago, I was saying that's going to destroy your hips and knees.
Well,
don't do that.
That's
6 miles, 10 miles. It's ridiculous.
That's what I did when I really couldn't get to the gym. So instead of all the traveling to the gym, doing whatever, and I would just run.
So what's happening now around us? What are we witnessing now?
My knee hurts.
Your knee. Okay, well, I'm hoping not yours, but we're seeing our peers and people in our family and our peers. We're seeing so many people our age having to have hips replaced.
And knees.
And I just, if it were me, I would not look back for the glory and say, well, it was all worth it, because it's not.
Well, I think that sprinting is good because it doesn't really put stress. I mean, it does, but it doesn't put stress for a long time on your joints.
Like,
but it really works your muscles, like your hamstrings.
Sometimes you and I will walk around for a couple of loops and then we'll jog one or two. That's, or sprint. That's good. Yeah. But that ongoing. So open your left hand and pound my fist into it. That's that kind of constant. And there's a membrane between that, and that's constant when you're running.
All right.
And what do you got? After a while, you have bone on bone, don't you?
Yeah.
It's like my analogy of scratching your skin and scratching it over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
Your scar's going to heal, but eventually you're going to have a scar that doesn't heal if you just keep doing it.
Yeah. Okay. So but exercising is really good. So.
Yeah. Just watch the impact.
Yeah.
So what else?
Take your fish oil.
So how do you feel at this stage of your life? You've
good.
reached the half-century mark.
Yeah.
Are you?
I still feel like a kid.
Do you feel? Are you rich yet?
No.
Yes, you are.
Well.
You have
yeah,
great abundance in your life.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
That's true. Very true.
What kind of
but I'm not
rich
rich
are you?
like I can just go do what I want all the time.
Yeah, we're slaves to income. We have to make income.
Yeah.
We have to feed the beast.
Yeah.
So do you?
So does everybody.
So you had to recap, you grew up in positive thought. You learned positive thought. That was good. That's good for you. I didn't really grow up with that, but I learned it eventually.
Yeah. You were really into that when I met you, and so was I. You were like reading all the books. And
so you had that, and you had a really good work ethic from the 70s on.
Yeah.
You started working in the 1970s?
Yep.
And you had,
late 70s.
And politically, your family was religious, part of your family, but you weren't really, you didn't buy into it apparently.
No.
So you weren't really a religious person. Yet you had all these values.
I'm more spiritual.
Well, whatever. Some people don't get that you can separate the two. I mean, we still have.
I don't know. I think if you're a good person, that counts.
Yeah, you're just.
Make sure not to cause harm.
Yeah, do no harm, and just be a loving person. And so you were not religious, but you had the same values, and you were raised with people who had religious values, but you believe that they exist, I guess, like I do, right? So can be separate and apart.
Yeah.
Wait, am I putting words in your mouth?
No. I mean, that's exactly my thoughts.
All right, so you had good values, good work ethic. You worked out all your life, and now you're 50, and you have, let's see, how do you feel about your relationship?
Very good. What am I going to say?
Do you cheat on your husband?
What? That too. Hello?
What?
What am I going to say with you right here?
What?
Just kidding. No.
I can't answer that.
Yeah.
Now, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Because
I don't know. I don't want drama. I don't.
Yeah.
And
there's whole TV shows set up on the premise of cheating.
Yeah.
And the drama.
Oh God. Don't want it.
Yeah.
I don't like to lie, and I'm really not good at it.
Well, my answer would be the same to all of that.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of positive stuff that you talked about.
Yeah.
So you have a grounded relationship. How about kids? How about child rearing?
Love my babies.
Yeah.
We have the best kids ever.
Well, there's only two.
Two.
And they're all grown up now.
Yep. Well, almost.
And did you raise them in a religious environment?
No.
No.
But they were allowed to.
A lot of people will fault you for this.
If they wanted to.
A lot of people are going to be very upset with you.
Well, they went to a bunch of different kinds of churches with their friends, and
it just didn't appeal to them.
Yeah.
And what did we tell them when they were little about religion? I remember I told them, if you want to be religious, you go on and be religious.
Yeah.
Because what I didn't like was the
History?
the dogma, the brainwashing, and making.
Yeah.
We make each generation just like the one before.
Well, it just seems like each religion thinks that they're the ones that are going to be saved.
Well, I didn't want to brainwash.
It doesn't make sense to me.
I didn't want to brainwash my kids either way. I didn't want to say you can't be religious. Religion is
Right.
not good. It
had to make up their
cripples
minds.
people. So we told them, make up your mind. You do what you want to do, and that makes to us better people in the end because they have free and open minds.
Yeah, they're really good people.
Yeah, they're good.
We're not biased at all.
Yeah, you're not. Okay. Well, what else? Where are you going to go from here? Why are you doing this YouTube stuff?
I really want to be in comedy, guys.
Are you prostituting yourself, Farm Girl?
Oh, no.
Yeah. Why not? What do you mean you're not prostituting yourself? You walk around in bikinis.
So?
Isn't that prostitution?
Filming my daily life.
But some say that's prostitution.
Why?
I don't know. It just is.
In what way?
Well, what do hookers do? Same thing, right?
No.
I'm confused.
Not quite.
You have at least 100,000 comments on your YouTube channel that say I'm the pimp and you're a prostitute. You know?
Yeah.
How could that not be then with that many people saying it?
I don't know. There's so many schools of thought.
If you dress skimpy and your man puts a camera on you, it's shameful.
Everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Whatever.
Live and let live.
Yeah. I feel like
having fun.
I like this. I feel like I'm giving you the hardball interview.
Yeah, I feel like I'm on Bill O'Reilly.
So you say you're not a prostitute, and you say you don't cheat on your man. What is all this? Bunch of lies. It must be. All right. Well, I just wanted to ask you those few questions, and I have about 100 more. But
Okay.
so, are you old, or are you young? What are you?
I feel young.
You feel young. You feel young at 50 years old. Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. You being serious right now?
I seriously feel like a kid.
You know
Except for
why?
in the morning sometimes when I wake
It's
up.
because
Freaky bones.
it's because you're childlike.
Yeah.
You have a childlike nature, as do I.
Yeah.
And I remember it was reported to me when I was right before, I think it was a year or two before I met you. I was probably 21 or so.
Yeah.
And I was playing around in the French Quarter. I don't know if I had a buzz, but I was hanging out with my brother, and we were running around and we had some beers and we were being silly on the streets of the French Quarter, and we saw a girl that we were acquainted with her date, and she reported to one of my coworkers, a girl I was dating actually, that he and his brother are very childlike. And it really irritated me, that this girl was telling my coworker that she saw me behaving
Childishly.
in a childlike fashion. But as I thought about it, I really grew to appreciate the label and the term childlike.
Yeah.
So
I like it. We're grown-ups. We just haven't grown up.
yeah. Well, I don't know about all that. We've done all the things that
Well, we did for a while when we had kids.
we've done the things that grown-ups do, and by God, I'm going to say it. I think we've done a pretty spectacular job with a large majority of what we've done.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you can say, hey, you look back and you say, hey, I didn't hurt people, I didn't manipulate people.
Yeah.
I just did what I like to do, and I made my living.
It's been pretty smooth. We haven't had too many major problems.
Let me tell you, I've been robbed
Yeah.
and manipulated
Yeah.
and
We just got robbed the other night.
taken advantage of. Yeah, we were
up
up
for
at
5 hours
2 in the morning. I had my gun
cleaning
because there was
glass.
pounding on the door, and I got out my shotgun because the person didn't say what was going on. And I said, "Who's there?" And they said, "Sheriff's Department." And so I put my gun down and made damn sure it was actually the Sheriff's Department.
Yeah.
And they were out there with flashlights.
Yeah. That
And
was
so-
really freaky.
When I determined that they were actually the Sheriff's Department because they knew our names and they were telling us through the window
Yeah.
that our business had been robbed. So what happened?
So somebody threw a big rock through our plate glass window in the
Yep.
front. And
So we had to
just
drive to town.
trash the spot. I mean, it wasn't trash, like stuff pulled off
Yeah.
the counters, but it was
A junkie.
yeah.
A junkie. So a junkie broke. It's so funny, it's so ironic to me that you have people telling you you've never worked a day in your life and you don't work for anything. And we built our business, we worked our butts off building our business.
Yeah.
And the bad people come out of the woodwork, and one broke through our window and to rob us. One broke through our wall,
Yeah.
through the drywall in one of the massage rooms. And
Yeah.
we had to have a massage room out of commission for a few days while I took time to repair the
Yeah.
wall and repaint the room. And we've had somebody come and cut the line to our outdoor unit on our HVAC and steal that. And I had all my tools were out,
Oh, yeah.
stolen when I was building the place.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've worked hard.
Yep.
But,
Had a few bumps in the road.
yeah.
Nothing.
But so in the end, you live a good life. You treat people with respect and dignity,
I think that's
so
the
you
key.
can have it yourself, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So
you
you
eat.
don't have to feel badly about anything.
So just think about that. Think about your diet. Think about your work ethic. Think about respect and dignity. These are the good things in life, people. And this woman is exemplary of these things to me.
Oh.
She's inspired me for most of my life. I've been your friend for most of my life.
Yeah. Me too.
You've been my friend. All right, well, that's about it for now. I'll ask you the next 100 later.
Okay. Sounds good. Have a great day, everyone.
Thanks for watching.